I explained just the other day in another one of my misunderstood comments. I didn't come into politics because it was my lifelong career. As you know, I had a totally different life as both a UN official and a writer till after my 50th birthday. But when I decided to come back to India, and I was offered an opportunity to enter politics by all the principal political parties in this country, I had no hesitation in making my choice because, for me, the reason to be in politics is as a vehicle to advance the ideas, principles, and values that I hold dear and that I want to see my country progress along. And for me, those ideas and principles have been very consistent over the years. You can read my books, including from the days when I was a staunch critic of the Congress Party in my very early books, to the gradual awakening to the merits of Congress policies after 91's liberalization and the encroaching dangers of the Hindu Rashtra concept coming from the BJP. And those ideas very simply are that India, as the freedom struggle established it, must be a country for everybody, irrespective of their religion, their language, their region, their caste, that everyone has equal rights in our democracy, and should feel equally at home and feel equally at stake in our country. And the second thing is that we should be a country that encourages growth and entrepreneurship, while at the same time being concerned about social justice for those marginalized and left behind. This is why I part company on both these principles from the principal alternative that was available to me at that time, and that was that of the BJP. Indeed, a former minister from the Vajpayee government called on me at my UN office in late 2006, soon after I'd stepped down from my unsuccessful race to be Secretary General, and said, "We know that the Congress is going to offer you a seat. Don't come to them, come to us." And I said, "But you know my views." And he was very charming and attempted to be persuasive and said, "But is there any political party with which you can agree on everything? You don't agree on some things with us, doesn't matter. We are still a meritocracy. We'll see your merit, etc." And though I was touched by that, I found it very difficult to swallow two of the political ideas of the BJP as they had manifested themselves up to then. The first was their emphasis on Hindutva, which became their official guiding ideology in the late 80s, and which essentially wanted to change our nation from a nation of everyone to a nation for one religion, a Hindu Rashtra. And that was impossible for me to accept because of my understanding of what the entire freedom movement was all about, and we can talk about that later if you like. And the second thing is they just conducted a campaign on the message of India shining without asking whom India was shining for. And my big worry about that is, I used to visit India every year. And by the way, growing up in India, I used to spend 2 months every year in my mother's village in Kerala, because that was my parents were themselves displaced Malayalis living in Bombay, Calcutta, and later Delhi. And for me, therefore, that was home rather than the place they imagined as their home, which was a village in Kerala. But nonetheless, they would drag us children along with them. And so I was very much exposed to seeing sort of grassroots rural development taking place with each successive visit. And that had also influenced my thinking. And I felt that the magic of the market will not appeal to those who cannot afford to enter the marketplace. That you need to give people a leg up before you can make them consumers in our brave new economy. And so I wanted this liberalization because I'd seen the limitations of the highly fettered economic system we'd had when I was growing up in India. But while I wanted that freed, I wanted the government also to care about those who were left out, the marginalized, the dispossessed, the vulnerable. And I didn't feel that the BJP government cared enough about them. So on both these grounds, if you like, political ideology and economic philosophy, I felt I needed to be with the Congress Party. Now you look around, what are the alternatives? Essentially regional parties. And I've always had a national and an international vision. I spent my 29 years working for the United Nations, in which I thought of India as one and I wrote of India as one. I couldn't possibly reconcile that with being a member of a purely regional party. And so if my choice was between the Congress and the BJP, I had absolutely no doubt as to what my or what my choice would be. And I must say that in many, many ways, this is what continues to anchor me to the party, is that it remains the one party that still remains committed to the values and principles I believe in. As I say, I'm not a political careerist. This is not something I've done before. It's not something I need to do again. I have a life outside politics. I have all of you who read my books and so on. I have an identity that is not linked only to my being a Congress MP. But I'm a Congress MP because of the Congress party's beliefs and values, and those beliefs and values are mine. So I hope that answers your question.
I'm always stunned by how very few people